All right, JR, you hit the nail on the head with the wind chill. It is it is cold out here. The wind definitely blowing the snow around, causing some reduced visibilities at times. But the big problem with the roads now is they're still kind of snow covered. This is actually Dort Highway, and it is completely snow covered. We cannot see pavement at all. There's the door. Bye.
Well, the door, you just told me some of the best news I've heard of 2020.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Santa is out the door.
He is in the air, so kids get ready. He is headed our way. Right now he is quite far away though, actually. Here's a look at where he is. Good morning, everyone. Time now 5:24. Taking a look at your forecast for cooking. This is basically Brad's personal forecast segment. This is going to be how I want to spend my day. So if you want to fire up the oven, do a lot of cooking today, temperatures will be cold enough. You'll probably heat the house or apartment up a little bit.
Cereal's just a bunch of carbs and sweets too, so I don't know how far off it is from a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, throw some dairy in the mix, right? I mean, either way, you got milk and carbs coming your way. I'm actually here for it. I don't care. I'll eat mac and cheese for breakfast if I want. I'm an adult. Take a look at your iced coffee forecast. Speaking of being an adult, this gets your day going off pretty well. It's not going to be that hot out today.
If you think you need to evacuate, just evacuate. Meteorologist Brad Sugden is tracking how this dam failure will affect this area. We're talking about 2 different dams now and a lot of water, Brad.
Yeah, Angie, it's kind of a domino effect taking place. We had the first dam breach, and that's the Edenville Dam, of course, just north of Edenville here. Wixom Lake is now basically draining down the Tittabawassee River. So what that does, it all flows down in Sanford Lake, and that's going to cause a rapid water rise on the Sanford Lake, and that's why.
Straight over to Brad in the Weather Center so we can get an update on today's severe weather chances. This looks pretty interesting, right, Brad?
Yeah, Terry, it's actually been several years since we've seen a threat this high for severe storms in the state of Michigan. Right now, the atmosphere is getting primed. Look at the city of Flint. We have a couple fair weather clouds developing, but the sunshine's really warming us up. You can see on Doppler radar, we have some heavy, severe thunderstorms back off to the west already. The Sanford Dam is currently failing, so we are starting to see a lot of that come down. We actually have a little bit of video that we can show you of the Edenville Dam breaking, and you can see right there starting to wash through. And you know, once that happens, that's that. The power of nature takes over, the water continues, and it just keeps eroding away at the dam further. And this was obviously shot from an airplane, but you can see it's taking out trees right there. So not only do we have water rising, there's debris, trees, boats, docks, everything.
Now your ABC 12 First Alert forecast.
Man, we just had a loud crack of thunder here at the ABC 12 studios. It's probably still radiating outwards, so you'll hear it shortly. Holly camera, we have a lot of water on I-75. Hydroplaning is a very real threat as we go throughout the next couple of hours. So there's traffic on 75, moving but slow, and you can see the cars splashing around in the water. So really reduce your speed, especially during these heavier downpours. Here's a look at the current severe thunderstorm warnings that we still have in effect. This one for the southeastern part of Lapeer County and to Sanilac County until 5 o'clock. And we still have another one that's just grazing the southeastern part of Genesee County, but that's for Fenton, Holly, Atlas Township, part of Grand Blanc, and that's also in effect until 5 o'clock. Here's a look at the storms with the downpours. You can see as a whole, they've moved to the southeast.
Now your ABC 12 First Alert forecast.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Taking a live look at the skies over Flint. A little more sunshine than what we had out there even just a couple of hours ago, but still some clouds. Nice stiff wind out of the north, but at least we're seeing down to the grass in Flint just off to our east. It's white because some of us picked up about 2 inches of snow earlier today. Here's a check of those cold temperatures, though. Look at the thumb. 26 in Bad Axe. That's it. 29 in Sandusky and Lapeer. A little warmer for Flint and along the I-75 corridor. That's where we had the most sunshine today and the biggest ability to warm up. So it's still chilly, though. Remember, average highs in the lower 50s. Now we're a solid 15 degrees below where we should be. And then you add the wind into it, and that's not making it feel any better. But the winds on the high side sustained at 15 to 20 miles per hour, if not a little over, and they're gusting even higher than that. Still seeing routine wind gusts anywhere from about 25 miles per hour or so. Earlier today, they were just a little bit higher than that, but look at these wind chills, especially for poor Bad Axe. Feels like 13 degrees, feels like 28 in Midland, 26 in Saginaw, Carroll coming in with 22. really need to make sure you bundle up. But keep in mind, this was the brief cool down we're talking about. Starting tomorrow, we're already going to see things drastically improve for us. So right now, a couple lingering snow showers pretty much confined off to the east around St. Clair County, Sanilac County, and Macomb County. So for our viewing area, we're really starting to see things taper off right now. The remaining cloud cover, which was keeping everybody cool, that's also moving out of the area as well. So tonight we'll have clearing skies, lighting winds, and that's going to mean that temperatures will be very cold for us, if not down into the single digits in some cases off to the north. But look how clear we stay right through the overnight hours. And again, it will be cold out there. For a lot of us, teens, a couple lower 20s out there, you have to go pretty far off to the north before you see the single digits that I just mentioned. But look at tomorrow. Crystal clear skies. I think we might have a few high clouds out there, but temperatures in the upper 40s near 50, not bad, especially considering where we're at right now. So we have a couple areas of high pressure. One will move off. We have a little wave in the atmosphere that'll set off some cloud cover. That'll be lasting into Saturday morning, but by late Saturday, we're already seeing more sunshine come out, and we'll see some of that even last into our Easter Sunday. So tonight we'll feel the chill. We're going down into the teens to the north and upper teens to lower 20s down to the south. Tomorrow, though, like I said, big improvements. We're warming it up middle to upper 40s pretty much across the board. Winds will be out of the northwest. So for the tip of the thumb, yeah, you'll be a little bit on the cool side, unfortunately. But like I said, we will start to improve. Eventually, winds turn southwest for Saturday and Easter. That means that even lakeshore areas will be nice and toasty by the time we get there. Notice 40s to 50s to 60s to close to 70 by the time we get into Monday. Tuesday, this is great news because it is dry out there. The fire danger already back up into the very high category. So as we warm it up, it'll go up even more. But we have a good chance for some rain showers coming in not only Tuesday, but lasting into part of Wednesday as well. And temperatures not too bad. We'll call it seasonably warm by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Just about 4 to 5 degrees above average, but again, we'll really need some of that rain to come on by. For the Great Lakes Bay region, we're going to crank up the heat as well, especially as we go through Easter into Monday, back into the 60s. The pollen and the allergies are going to climb as well because we have a lot of things getting ready to start to bloom out there. And then we'll bring in those much needed rain showers by Tuesday into Wednesday as well, drying things out by Thursday.
So, Brad, one Kaysville resident caught a very cool weather incident this week on camera.
Ooh, absolutely. It's called an ice shove, and that happens when ice floating on the Saginaw Bay gets drifted around in the wind and slams into land. Look at that, Terry.
Oh, that's impressive. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's definitely taking out some trees there. And these are large chunks of ice. I mean, look how thick that stuff is as it falls. So a lot of ice floating around the Saginaw Bay. Now, this did happen on March 11th, so it was a few days ago, and that was captured by Corey McCain. It was at the Fillion Road access just south of Kaysville. But, Terry, this isn't the first time it's happened. You recall one a few years ago, too.
Oh, yeah. Along Saginaw Bay, we had those northeast winds coming, and a lot of the ice was coming into people's homes, and there was damage, and we had never seen anything like it. At least I hadn't in my lifetime. And so when I watched this, I'm just glad this is only affecting trees and not necessarily homes at this point. Brad, we don't think that's going to happen this year. When we watch this, that's not going to happen in other places around the bay where some homes could get some of that ice.
No. The good news is that was a public boating access, so it sticks way out into the water, you know, so the homes should be okay, especially since the water is down like a whole foot this year. But I do want to explain to you how this happens with a graphic that we can show you here. And basically what needs to happen is the ice needs to be melted already in some way or fashion. So it needs to be broken off from any land and just kind of drifting out in the Saginaw Bay. So partial thawing of the ice needs to be mobile, able to move around. Strong winds then move the ice sheet, and the ice is heavy. It has a lot of momentum, so it crashes into land, and the more gentle the slope, the more likely it is to slide up onto the land. So basically, here's a very zoomed in graphic. The ice sheet arrives at the shoreline, but it has a lot of mass. Remember, it's very, very heavy. It's like a freighter. You can't just stop on a dime. So it slams into the land and it keeps pushing further and further inland. So anything along the shoreline basically gets crushed or buried in a lot of ice out there. And sometimes, unfortunately, that can include some homes. And they're most common on the bigger Great Lakes, especially the Saginaw Bay, but even some big inland lakes can also be prone to that, like Houghton Lake and Higgins Lake.
And continuing our team coverage now with an all-encompassing look at this flood damage. Brad, NASA released an incredibly detailed photo that you just have to see to believe.
Yeah, exactly. And this photo is on a large scale. You can tell here, this is most of mid-Michigan. Now, I'll zoom it into certain spots. We'll start off with Wixom Lake, and this is how it used to look from an older Landsat image. You can see the blue waters there, and this is it after the flooding is completely drained. So a lot of what we see there is dirt, a little bit of water on the west side there, but it is currently still draining out. Now, Sanford Lake, this is what it used to look like, and now, well, at least at the height of the flooding, you can see all the muddy water in it. The dam obviously broke, and then it all started going downstream. Midland, on a normal day, this is what we look like. You can see the golf course, Chippewa River, Tittabawassee River. Then during the height of the flooding, look at that. We basically had a lake form where all the low-lying lands are. And of course, all the water goes downstream. Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge. This is what it looks like on a normal day. And then you get the flooding. We basically have floodwaters all over this entire area. And that's why the flood warning along the Saginaw River through the city of Saginaw and Bay City lasted so long. Was because we're draining out basically a huge lake that formed. So it is going down, but just very slowly. Now, I do want to show you over toward the Saginaw Bay. This is what it looks like on a regular day. And then with all the water spilling out into it, you can see how all the mud is flowing right out into the Saginaw Bay. We can see it from space. Then also something that caught my eye was the Cucaulin River, the north branch of that. You can see how out of its banks it was. Haven't heard a lot from these areas, but obviously flooding was very widespread, just not in the areas that have been getting the most coverage. A lot of folks have been dealing with high water.
Now your ABC 12 First Alert forecast.
Well, some of the more sizable lake effect snow totals that we saw come in through the day today were due to lake effect snow. So I'm going to remind you once again how exactly that happens. Now, the water temperature right now in the Great Lakes is warm. In fact, in the middle of Lake Huron, out in the middle of the lake, still coming in the middle 40s. So we have very cold air moving over that warm water. We get a lot of evaporation. It moves up into the colder air. So the lake water evaporates. That northwest wind that we've had carries it right over land, or in some cases a wind straight out of the north. When it condenses, it starts to fall out of the atmosphere in the form of snow, and some of that can really pile up. In fact, right over there in Leelanau County, Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, Empire came in with 30 inches of snow as of this morning from the lake effect snow bands that set up. So very, very heavy snow.